Hey everyone, Matt here from Docs Running, and today we're going to do a comparison review, or should I upgrade episode, of the ASICS Gel-Kayano 31 versus the new ASICS Gel-Kayano 32. Now the Kayano series is ASICS' long-standing premium stability shoe. They're incredibly popular and been around for a very, very long time. 30 and 31 was a really big departure from the series because they got rid of the medial post and really brought on a lot of stable neutral components and some new ideas on stability of basically bouncing you out when you pronate rather than trying to stop you. 32, when I first saw it, was like, oh, this looks like the same shoe. I was kind of disappointed in the third iteration of this new variation that it looked fairly similar, but it actually is quite different. And we'll talk about that and help you figure out which one might work better for you, or if you're in version 31, should you upgrade to version 32. We're going to talk about specs, ride, stability, and then fit, and finish this up. So in my size 10, the ASICS Gel-Kayano 31 is coming in at 11.2 ounces or 316 grams. Version 32 is coming in at 314 grams or 11.1 ounces. Stack height wise, the Kayano 31 is 40 millimeters in the heel, 30 millimeters in the forefoot for a 10 millimeter drop, which is pretty traditional for this series. 32 is 40 millimeters in the heel, 32 in the forefoot for an 8 millimeter drop. And they made that 8 millimeter drop, as mentioned, by increasing the amount of cushioning in the forefoot. Now, that does change the ride. I have complained for a while that the Kayano series has a fairly clunky heel. Version 3031 was a little bit better, but wasn't quite where I was hoping it to be. The 8 millimeter drop and the increased crease right here in the midsole makes the heel transition in the 32 the best heel transition of any Kayano I have ever tried. Really nice smooth heel transition, goes into a really smooth midfoot and forefoot transition. So heel-wise, much better transition-wise in 32 versus 31, if that's something you like. Now, stability-wise, they're quite similar from that regard because they're still using 4D guidance system, but I will say that version 32 is a little bit more stable because the ride is also a little bit firmer than version 31. 3130 was kind of surprising, or not surprising, it was just softer shoe, not quite as stable, more than like mild to moderate stability, more of a guidance stability shoe just because there's sidewalls, there's the 4D guidance system, which basically means the internal part of the shoe is set up so that the more you compress it, the more it actually provides stability to you depending on which way you go. And this 4D guidance system specifically this is actually a softer, more responsive foam that is supposed to, as you pronate, bounce you out. Now, that's exactly the same over in version 32. The difference is this shoe is slightly firmer, so it's not soft or firm. It sits right between the two, whereas version 31 was slightly soft. This, because it's a little bit firmer, it's just a little bit inherently more stable, which is really nice. It's still not that medial post in your face. If you want a medial post feeling, the Brooks Glycerin GTS 22 is probably going to be a better option. Or if you want to feel centered, I do feel the sidewall here that's kind of gently pressing up into my foot, but it's a pretty centered shoe that really adapts to you as you run. So it's really nice, definitely keeps me stable, but a little bit more stable, slightly firmer outsole or midsole with a much better heel transition. The forefoot's fairly similar, maybe a touch more stiff because I only have 25 miles on the new one. I've got 100 on the old one. So if you have toe mobility issues, both these are probably going to work really, really well. The different pathology that's going to be between people is Achilles tendon issues. So posterior tibialis issues, the muscle on the medial side of your ankle that helps you control pronation, you're going to be fine, but that slightly lower drop is going to put a little bit more stress on the calves. So people that go to the Kayano series because they want a higher heel drop, they don't want to worry as much about any Achilles stuff. It's not a low drop shoe, but just know as if you are in the 31 and you transition to 32, you might have some Achilles soreness and calf soreness just getting used to that slightly lower drop. Again, not zero drop, not super low, just a small change that I personally like because I like more of a moderate drop and a little bit better heel transition, but some people might not. So fairly similar stability, a little more stable, better heel transition, little softer over in the 31 versus a tiny bit firmer in version 32. The upper fit is where things also were different, where 31 was actually pretty wide. It's a wider shoe. The upper breaks in really, really quickly. When I put my foot in version 32, this is a knit mesh upper where it actually feels snug. As it's broken in, it fits more normally. There's a little bit less room in this shoe, but a little bit more security over in this one, which actually makes it hold a lot better. The other thing that's really different, for the most part, the uppers are similar. The tongues are different. So a really thick padded tongue in version 31 that could just put a little pressure there. 32, because it's more snug, the tongue didn't have to be as thick. It's much thinner. It fits really nicely around the foot. And I haven't had to lock down the laces at all in this shoe. So security is a little bit better. a little bit more snug, so more of a normal width fit versus a wider fit in 31. And that really, those small changes make some big differences in feel. I really like version 32. Again, it's still got that good centralized stability guidance that the new Kayano series is known for, but the security is a little bit better, a little bit more snug, so it locks things down a little bit more, and the better heel transition, in my mind, makes version 32 a far better running shoe than version 31. It feels lighter, it feels a little snappier on foot, so I'm really enjoying 32. Is there a big, massive difference? If those things don't matter to you, could you get version 31? Yeah, you totally could, but I encourage you to look at 32 because it is a really big update that not a really big update, let me be honest. It's mild to moderate updates that make this shoe far smoother, and I'm just enjoying it. As always, please let me know in the comments below, do you agree or disagree? Of course, everybody's experiences with this stuff is going to be a little bit different, and we know that, so please contribute so that anybody who watches this can go down below and find additional information that might help them choose which shoe is going to be better for them. And then last but not least, hope this is helpful because really want to be able to provide you good information so you can focus on the run, not get injured, and enjoy stuff.